Alrighty. Let's wait for chat to start up. Come on, where's the chat? There it is. Then open it up here. Alright, howdy guys, my name is Papa Conley. Welcome back to Ace Attorney. We're on the final day of investigation for Ace Attorney 1. Or Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, if you want to get so technical. But yeah. This time we're, lost my entire, what I was going to say. This time we're on our final day of investigation for this episode. We're almost done. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said. Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. Morning. We did what we had to in order to get him the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings. To be fair, I don't know why you'd expect to know. Sounds like everyone heard about these killings but me. That's kind of normal for you at this point. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me. What do you mean, what happened to you? It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence. But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma? On the night Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me. What? He tried to kill you? Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me. So that means you... Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial. I didn't see that one coming. I forgot how the story of this episode is. I mean, it's not that bad. I'm more annoyed by a lot of the steps involved and just what you have to do to get through. I feel like it's too convoluted. Granted, again, remember, this is a bonus episode. This wasn't the original game. This was added in the DS version. And I do like some of the mechanics they add, like the whole, you know, piecing together evidence thing and the, like, you know, being able to inspect evidence more closely like this. I do like the mechanic. It's just in the original trilogy, we're not going to see this again because, well, it was a mechanic made for this episode. Like, I like the whole, like, luminol testing fluid thing and all that. I think it's a really neat idea for, like, the little investigation parts. But... see, it feels very nitpicky, I guess. And there was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. That's fair. Yeah, for me, I'm more bothered by the gameplay than the story. Jake Marshall's brother. Joe Dark tried to take me hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then, what happened? I'll never forget it. Lightning struck, and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now. A permanent picture? I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall. So you weren't able to testify about that? No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why Lana, why she made up the crime. Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it. Edgeworth? Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known he was given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could just testify properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true, even though he may not have known it. Edgeworth really was involved in the falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. What a chat, honestly. She became cold, like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that the crime occurred? Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife. Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl. I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms. Poor Emma, you've been through so much. I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good. 2 years ago, he must have been 14. That's understandable. Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I have literally no clue. Again, I am playing through blind at this point. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge anything. I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something. I have zero clue. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right? That's right. Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor. Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course, this happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. Why didn't he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's office and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. Huh? Sorry, I'll try harder with my psychic abilities next time. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? I better have another talk with her. February 24th, Detention Center, Visitors Room. Lana, Mr. Wright? Seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence? I didn't think you were the type. Girls don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago. How the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially the one about the unusual change of jobs? That would make our life easy. I mean, with Edgeworth, it kind of made sense because a big part of, what happened, he didn't remember due to trauma. This one, though, yeah, no, Lana's just being a pain. A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall could be. That trial, really wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed you no matter what happened. You'd always stick to the truth. It could be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana, what the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife? Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so fazed before. It's true, I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together. Chief Gant? He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I was planning on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court, right? Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark. Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right? Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. You had the same office? We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That's when his final murder took place. He tried to murder Emma. Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Damon Gant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall left their guards down and fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me. He's also the real Gordy. I knew it. I knew he was real. So you were the first person to run to the scene, Lana? It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood. 3 bodies? Prosecutor Marshall, the victim Emma, who had passed away, or who had passed out, and the suspect, Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seemed Mr. Marshall was struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious. What did you do? To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her. Can't blame her. After all, her sister must have gone through. After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest. Let me get this straight. You were all involved in the SL9 incident. That's right. Quite a coincidence, I don't buy it. What are you saying? There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance. That case was solved 2 years ago. At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved. Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely. I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories. That case just might not be over yet. Emma was assaulted by Dark at the apartment, right? Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies himself, the Chief's office. Maybe we should have a look at the Chief's office. Let's say the final SL9 murder. Can we go to the Chief of Police's office? February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere. Things seem kind of quiet around here today. You're right. Chief Detective seems the same, though. Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to? Right. We can come back here later. That man must be the Chief of Detectives. He's staring at the screen so hard it might shatter. What? Dark case may have been fabricated? That's what I thought all along. I just never bothered to tell anyone. There's a guy who cares about his work. That is true. We could just break in. That must be one of the detectives. He's mumbling something to himself. That's it. The villain used a time machine. Very clever indeed. That would explain the alibi. The future might not be so far away after all. He's not writing a report. He's writing a novel. February 24th, Police Department entrance. Howdy, Bambina. Oh, hi, Mr. Marshall. I never thought things turned out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, you'd never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? I should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning. Billy? Must have been his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner. But, Mr. Marshall, why did you do it? Why do prospectors head west? If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about it, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting steak lunch today. Someone was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. I'm pretty sure that's what he's getting interrogated. In quotation marks for. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence we found. For example, the murder weapon. The murder weapon? You mean that switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a questioning was raised. A question? The blade of that knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? It means there is a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, in the reports that were finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us. The scars that the SL9 incident left behind. I got the looks, but he got the brains. He was one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when he went down. It was our first case together. How old was he, your brother? He was 27 at the time. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I knew it. What are you looking at me like that for? It's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have been really close with his brother. The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as... That's right. It was the day of the evidence transferal. Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall, there was thunder. I can't believe 2 years have gone by already. I tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered, and the evidence locker was empty. There was something else going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Miss Starr was fired and I was devoted, boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him too, the commissioners would get suspicious. No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They? Who are you talking about? Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and the second in command, Lana Skye. There wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard that duo. That case was the biggest step in both their careers. After the case ended, Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged for that to happen. She's never been the same since she left. Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Skye was totally different when she was a detective. Now he mentions it. Emma said something along that line too. Tell me, what happened to my sister? Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret? It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Did you enjoy it, partner? Nah. Gant, nah. He wouldn't. He wouldn't be that suspicious. Nah. I don't believe you. It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth is my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Have you been, like, drinking from that without opening it? Too bad I won't be around to work with you. Will you become a real scientific investigator? Adios, Bambina. Well, that was a little, you know what? Let's talk to these guys. Look, that patrolman is saluting the other guy. He must also be a detective. So I cuffed the lout, right? Then you know what he says? What are you, a moron? I'm an undercover agent. Oh man, I hate it when that happens. Guess he wasn't saluting. He was just listening to how his friend messed up. They make a good pair. Alright. Am I able to... Nope, can't get in. February 24th, prosecutor's office, underground parking lot. I was here today, not even Miss Starr. I was probably busy looking into what went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are. But we proved in court that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15. Yeah, I thought we were finally making some headway in our case. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty. Hang in there, Lana. Gotta find all the answers by tomorrow. February 24th, High Prosecutor's Office. Mr. Edgeworth isn't here. Maybe he's being questioned by an inquiry committee. Took a real beating in court today. Yeah, with Lana admitting to falsifying evidence 2 years ago. Guess we'll just have to come back later. Huh. Oh. February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes. Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks? Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did and the decision about what to do, but Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statements to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is usually used for those. Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office. Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor. Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything. Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's off limits. I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office. Wait. Okay, he doesn't have anything new. Ah, that's definitely an office. Whoa, where am I? In a chief's office, silly. At least that's what's out on the door. Check out that pipe organ. That isn't real, is it? I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach. I thought I was a genius until they tried teaching me the notes. Never could remember where C was. Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant? He put that paper he was reading in his desk. So, Raito, have you been swimming lately? No, I haven't. I've been kind of busy lately. What's real? Huh? I can appreciate. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall misconduct and Lana's provocative statement. Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence? 2 years have passed since that incident. My, how the time flies. Well, see that big picture on the wall over there? Yeah. That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me. So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall. We took it to committee to commemorate our work together. Looking at right with this picture. I can't quite see and put my finger on it, though. The vase. Gant team picture added to the court record. Anyways, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there's matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh. But this office... It was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case is long since been over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. All the same, we'd still like to have a look around. Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome. Seems that case isn't over with yet, after all. What do you mean? Chief Gant denied our request to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there. You mean like a clue? There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Where's the... Huh. That's strange. Edgelord's trophy doesn't have a sword. Huh. Yeah, that's missing something. And there's the jar. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. February 24th, Police Station Criminal Affairs Department. Hey, pal. Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm, just taking a breather for my feet hurt. From sitting so long? Actually, from serving everyone coffee. It's like Detective Gumshoe's still out for the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Edgeworth? No, why do you ask? He's under fire for both the police department and the prosecutor's office. And so it's like the battles between you two in court. That sounds serious. Is it because of what my sister said? Yes, it absolutely is. That's basically what it boils down to. Falsified evidence 2 years ago? Yeah, but that would be illegal. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Now Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood. Yikes. Why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Tell Gumshoe that there's $50 behind the door and tell him to break it. I mean, I assume there's probably at least $50 behind that door. Well, Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Regardless, the prosecutor is responsible for the evidence that they present in court. Not only that, but as you know, there's been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor kept him safe from those who didn't like him. But now, with this, are there really so many people who hate him? In our world, there's only those with talents rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick, keep up the good work. Yes, sir. Let's go out again for lunch sometime. My treat. Yes, sir. Gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick? Yes, sir. See, you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyways, I'm a bit worried about him. That is true. But if we do get caught, we do lose our ability to be a lawyer. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack. Actually, I took a look at that file earlier while the coffee was brewing. He seems concerned for Edgeworth. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Stark left behind during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl? Me. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl. Excellent point. You know what? I think I'm gonna go attempt breaking and entering now. That's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all. Well, what was it? Sure was that, not all complicated. Let's see. I think it had something to do with the murder weapon. Oh, I forgot. Well, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His powers of recollection never failed to impress. Maybe we should show him the murder weapon. It might jog his memory. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was just a run-of-the-mill businessman. Businessman? What did it take to serial killing? To be fair, I do have a scroll issue. One day, on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car. With his car? So, it was an accident? An accident, yes, but it transformed him into an animal. An animal? He killed a man that witnessed the accident, then he killed a lady who saw the second crime. Dogger came up to the scene and was killed as well. Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. There was a single shred of evidence. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim. Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that the last witness wasn't killed. That last witness, aka Emma. Alright, let's, about this. Hey, that's it. That attack tag labeled SL9 instant on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker. On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. And has found Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler. That's it. Now I remember what an incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me. He's got anime hair, I guess. I don't know what to tell you. This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store where he bought it. Plus, it had his fingerprints on it, too. But no one actually witnessed him using the murder weapon, right? That's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken. You have to take a good look to notice that. Yeah, well, anyways, take a guess where the broken off tip of the knife was found. Nah, I'm correct, and you're wrong. That's what did him in. Where was it? The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. It was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber. That's pretty conclusive. Neil's autopsy report added to the court record. Switchblade knife updating the court record. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it was money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. It's not money, but it does concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered. The chief's out now, and his office is locked. We'd like to have a look around, if that's okay. Well, a detective's ID card can unlock the door. What? Really? But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with breach of trust. Breach of trust? Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you. How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman's. That won't work either. The day is already was deleted the day he died. Oh. So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office. Wonder if there's something we can show him that would make him change his mind. What could we have that make him change his mind? This guy almost made us lose the case today. What are you talking about? He was guarding the bloodstains on the evidence locker with his life. That's more than you can say about most officers nowadays. See a lot of trouble if you hadn't guarded it so well. Yeah, I don't know what we could have. A lost item report? Oh, a lost item report, huh? Very impressive, detective. You knew what it was right off the bat. Well, I am master of misplacement, you know. Master? That's such a cool ring to it. The way I see it, if things are meant to be lost, then they're meant to be lost. There are higher powers at work here. Wow, a higher power. Maybe I shouldn't let Emma hold any evidence. What can we give you? Okay, time to go through everything. What could we show you? Come on. Come on, I gotta have something. What could I get you that you want? I'm trying to convince him to... Hey, I just bought some of that stuff. Now I can go around detecting blood traces too. Wow, is that a new type? I've never seen that bottle before. Adds 3 inches to your base height. Base height. Hey, let me see that. Looming Tall. New and improved growth formula. You mean I can't detect the blood traces? Well, it's not quite the same as Luminol. So that's why the lady at the counter had that smirk on her face. Hey, that's power used for detecting fingerprints. Yeah, Mr. Edgeworth gave it to us. He did what? All I have is some flour. Are you okay, detective? Quick, run! Achoo! If there's any help, one time I took a nap on a bench with wet paint. Why am I not comforted? I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just trying to get him to give me his card. And I'm going through all my evidence just to see if we have any item to give him in our evidence that could, you know, give me access to, I'm gonna have to look around, aren't I? Yeah. Um... Maybe... Maybe... Aha, we're supposed to rob the office. I see. It all makes sense now. February 24th, High Prosecutor Office, room number 1202. I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet. There he is. Looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here? He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh? I had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you. That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings. So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day. There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing more I can do to erase that fact. But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that evidence was falsified. The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. That bond is broken, we stand to lose everything. The police department's error is my error. My responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. The fact remains that the same no matter what excuses I might have. I mean, yeah, Phoenix probably has at least $50 on him, I'd assume. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this? Even Edgeworth can't keep his kind of emotion bottled up. Are you up for the trial tomorrow? First last year's trial, now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on trial. Tomorrow's the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my spirit is banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this. What do you mean? The list of evidence seemed too short. Most lists run twice as long. It's like half as long as most lists? That's odd. After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Let's say we saw a picture taken around that time. That picture. Something seems strange about it. Could you tell us about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered? You were participating in the ceremony over at the station, right? Never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one. Because you were awarded this, right? Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. After I finished up morning, I drove to the police department. You finished up at the office? Yes. Just clerical stuff. Yeah. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day. That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This. Oh yeah, Chief Gann asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes. This piece of evidence in a case that I closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office. That's a story we heard yesterday. So he came back to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you? That's right. This picture is hanging in Chief Gant's office. Prosecutor Neil Marshall, he had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy. Seeing that, there's something that bothers me. Yes? Trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right. Ah, I remember now. Remember what? That was what the prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story? Sound interesting. Do you mind telling it to us? It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award was based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with two characters. First means halberg, and the second means shield. Have you heard this story? Me? Oh, sure, everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though? For Emma's sake. Very well. Long ago in the Kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with two items. The first was a halberd. That's not a halberg. That isn't a halberg. Like, at all. He claimed he could slide through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon. Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other. Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? As you mentioned, the very description of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize... Precisely so. They symbol the merchant's items. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion, even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow, thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. Learned something new today. That's funny. That's so... Why were you only given a shield? You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the award abolished. Chief Gant? Key Prosecutor's trophy update in court record. No, I... Okay, there we go. I might just steal that. What he was running before? Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look. Are you crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there. Just distract him. I'll check it out. Hey, Edgeworth. Hey, Detective Gumshoe out the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground. Hold on. First, let me see what this girl's doing crawling under my feet. Didn't even look. What? Letter of... If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says letter of resignation. Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean... I'm tired, right? Feels as if something inside me has died. But, Mr. Edgeworth, none of it was your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either. Uh-oh. I think he's serious. Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something. It's like a resignation. I wonder if I can use it for anything. Can we give you something? No. I bet Gumshoe will probably say something. February 24th, Prosecutor's Office, underground parking lot. Excuse me. Would either of you care for a quarter pound of roast beef? Miss Starr, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk. Was that... Kenny? Okay, so we're assuming Gant probably accidentally stabbed the prosecutor, or purposely stabbed the prosecutor. With the sword end of the strophe. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred on this very day. The evidence from the case was due for transferal. This can't all be attributed to mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? The instant Lana stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. Now, how much did the past you dig up? It won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Star's hatred towards Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. I don't think it will, but you know, we can still try. We trailed him for half a year. Oh, the pressure. Still don't think I was more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy. Poor old Jake Marshall, though. Must have been going through hell. You mean because of his brother's death? They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye. The best of the best were put on that SL9 case. Of course they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Chief Gant. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never lied in this game. Nope. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up on our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. Items our team never found would suddenly appear while other items were kept secret. Yeah, that's an excellent point. I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. Most without so much as an explanation. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor. I always wanted to be a prosecutor. Nothing's quite as simple as it appears. Huh? Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. She was being used? Damon Gant, Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation with Lana in the second command. They were the best. They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they? Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he'd handled. Incredible evidence? You mean... Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though. I think she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All detectives want to be like her. Really? Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She ain't anything crooked, and always watched out for other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake. Mr. Marshall? When Jake's brother was murdered, she felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would ever have recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating. Miss Starr. That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, that's thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence. Chief? That's right. Having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There's only one thing left for him to control, and then no one can stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he would control the prosecutor's office. And that must have been his goal all along. But how could he control Lana? I don't know, but one thing's for sure. He also has mentioned stops talking for a minute every 5 seconds. Ever since the case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. At last, I'm finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Miss Star. You listened to me, Rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create a fine cuisine. You turn out to be a better chef than I've been. Alright. February 24th, Police Station, Criminal Affairs Department. Oh, you're back. You're still here. I gotta make over 50 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files. I'm turning into a regular DJ. You're a DJ as well? If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey. Oh, that DJ. I gotta admire persistence, but my answer's still no. I feel I need to cook. I think. I'm not letting you in the chief's office, period. It'd be not my neck on the line. That officer's last crime scene of the SL9 incident. Take a look in there. Gotta be something we can do to make the detective change his mind. Wait, first... That must be one of the detectives. Oh, Francesca. You're more lovely than a marsupial and quiet, John Mark. The words will spoil the moment. Now hold me close. Yes, this approach allows for much more intrigue. Seems he's given up on the mystery genre. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? No way! Mr. Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe they pushed him this far. Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible. When I first met him, I thought he was cold as ice, too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide us with sound evidence. But we betrayed him. I'm not gonna disagree. Detective. That's it. I've made up my mind. But, here, take my ID card. We can't do that if someone found out. They won't let you off the hook with another lost item report. Look at me. It's no secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Kind of how this case turns out. I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this, for Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective, thank you. Based Gumshoe. What a legend. February 24th, Police Department, Chief's Office. Here goes, Mr. Wright. How convenient literally any detective's card could get into there. We're in. If anyone finds us out now, Detective Gumshoe's a goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Eek. Gah. So this happened twice now? Sorry, I thought you were a ghost. I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. Ah, Detective Gumshoe. What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. So I came too. If you're here, then what's the point of giving us your ID card? Gumshoe's ID card crushed and rendered unusable in pocket. Hey, don't do that to my card. I hardly ever got a chance to come in here. So I figured I had to look around myself. Besides, we're all in this together now. You really do want to get fired, don't you? Not if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. I got a bad feeling about this. That desk on the other side of the room, was that your sister's? Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day 2 years ago. Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. He practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave here. I don't know. He just leaves as a warning to everyone else. He wants us to always be alert. He told us so himself at our New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see. So ever since Lana left, no one's ever touches that desk? No one except Chief Gant. And the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining. Can I ask you something? Sure, you only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think... Nah, you wouldn't be... No. No, there's no way. Never mind, don't worry about it. Okay, now then, let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on. Not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? When someone tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. Don't just, let go at that. Sorry, this guy's starting to get on my nerves. Okay, so what's bothering you? You two don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you? What? He's right, Mr. Wright. What do we think of him? Chief Gant, so let's finally come to this. Yeah. Wait. Is Chief Gant in the you know I had to do it to him pose? I don't think I would notice this. He's in the you know I had to do it to him pose, right? He's doing the pose. He knows he had to do it to him. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings yet. He did. There you go, ignoring me again. I'd say let's have a little look-see around. These shelves are mostly empty. Lana must have cleaned them out when she transferred to the prosecutor's office. There's a small picture frame on the left. Hey, this is when Lana and I went to that theme park. Aw. Look out that giant window. Makes you want to crash through it and jump outside. This is the 15th floor. I know, I was just saying. Saying what? This is making a detective. I always dream about doing something like that. Note to self, Detective Gumshoe has a lot of dreams. So long as he doesn't go crashing through that window when he gets fired. Don't say that. This is Lana's desk for sure. Lana's always been a meticulous cleaner. There's not even any dust. Looks like someone's still keeping it clean. Does Lana ever come back here? No. Chief Gant must still keep it clean in memory of their partnership. They were the stuff legends are made of. Does he keep it in memory of her or in memory of the crime? This was taken on that day 2 years ago. The day Joe Dark ran out of the questioning room and tried to kill Emma. After receiving his award trophy, Mr. Marshall took a picture here. Then went along with Chief Gant to question Dark. But I never knew he'd be dead just a few hours later. Gee, you think? A Chief's organ sure is a sight to behold. Occasionally we hear him playing it from the Criminal Affairs Department. It's on the 2nd floor, and this is the 15th an entirely different building. When a detective screws up, the chief calls him to his office. Makes them listen to the organ for hours. What's so bad about that? Music soothes the skull. After that, a detective can't hear anything for days except for the ringing in their ears. So it's an instrument of punishment. Literally. But aren't Chief's ears affected? He never listens to anyone anyways. That's besides the point. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe. That word's ripped with intrigue. Okay, if you say so. It looks like a code is needed to be entered in the panel to open it. 7-digit number. I think I might know what it is. Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know. You want to try my birth date? I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. What? Wait. Maybe it's... Maybe... Bingo. What number did you enter? Whose birthday was that, pal? 7777777. The final ID card number on the record. What? The card on the mysterious executive officer who entered that room that day. You mean 77777777777? That ID number? I think you're 17 shy this time. That can only mean one thing. That's Chief Gant's ID number. Say, anyone care to look inside? Ooh, me, I do. I care. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away? Look, it's a, shard from Broken Cup? That's how it looks familiar. Where have I seen that before? Something else in here, too. What's this? Looks like a piece of leather cloth. This is a handprint, isn't it? Yeah, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design? I don't think so. Oh, well, I just thought... Is that it? Is that all that was in the safe? Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with handprint on it, a broken shard from a cup. Like pieces of evidence. Yep, unless you can prove that, they have something to do with this case. I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great. I have to prove their relevancy to them. Come on, there's got to be something we can show the detective. Really? Gumshoe, could I have another look at this jar? Can't really be nostalgic. Wasn't this jar a piece of evidence for that case? That's right, the one SL9 on it. And this one that was in the safe? Yes, that one. That was in the safe. I should mention it. It's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Let me see if that shard. I'll take a crack at this. Go ahead, pal. Show us what a rookie can do. Mr. Right, here's some glue. Piece this together again. I'll prove Chief Gant only hiding evidence. Here we go. There, it fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of evidence of this jar inside his safe. In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident case. But, hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the other jars. There's a reddish line on it. Reddish line. That's blood. Y'all couldn't figure that out earlier? I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? A stable jar updated in court record. Can I use this to prove the leather's important? Can I use this to prove it? I feel like I'm gonna have to fingerprint that piece of cloth. There we go. Okay. How about that cloth we found in the safe? Oh, I knew that. That was the one with the handprint on it, right? Sheesh, where's your sense of humor? There we go. Okay, Mr. Wright, let's check it for prints. Sprinkle powder on the cloth. With it absorbed in the prints, blow the rest away. What are you, my mom? I'll have to be told a million times. Alright, let's get this over with. Okay, there you go. That should be enough. Give it my best shot. Nope, not good enough. I am just throwing as much dust as I can. Alright, this has gotta be enough, right? This has gotta be enough. Give me a shot. Apparently not. Okay, I guess that works. Uh... So that's who killed him. It was Emma all along. How could she? No, how could this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing on here? Hey, you found a match. Whose fingerprints were they? The prints are too old. Not clear enough to get a match. Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints. Psst. Hey, you, over here. What's going on here? Why is the kid's prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Let's just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. I'm guessing she might have probably just grabbed onto Dead Marshall's, you know, coat. Well, because I have Chief Gant's desk. Speaking of that, when we were here earlier. Oh, it's you two, Chief Gant. But that... Oh, yeah. I wonder what he was reading. This looks like a list of evidence. A list of evidence? Most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though. Hey, look at the case name. Huh? SL9 incident? I wonder what this is doing here. Hold on, detective. Did you just say... I said I wonder what... No, about... lists. Normally they're twice as long? That's right. I guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. Half-size list of evidence. The list of evidence seems too short. Most lists run twice as long. What would the other half of the list be doing here? I knew it. The chief must have been hiding something about that case. It appears so. What you looking for? Back's looking at Gant with us, you know I had to do it to impose. To be fair, he did have to do it to him. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence. Now, that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat? Chief Gant! We didn't think he'd be back this so soon. Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. I was walking to my meeting. I happened to look out a window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then, I saw a certain detective. Do you mean me, sir? Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat. Me, sir? Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore. But, sir... Now get out. Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then. Wait, you, the one with the spike... The one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? I'd like a word with you. But, sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair, you're free to go. Mr. Wright? Oh, yeah, I probably should have. Look, pal, I've told you once, and I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like you did, didn't you? They say you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yep, if I knew it'd be like this, I'd never would have said it. Now I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office. I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. But why hasn't she kept eerily silent about this all this time? Anyways, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the Chief again. Later, pal. Probably. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day. February 24th, Detention Center Visitors Room. I see. So the Chief asked Emma to come in for questioning. It's no use to think about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here. But I already told you all that I can. What you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing. Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman. You know, I think I finally figured it out. I just know who it is that's lurking behind your words. Mia did a good job of mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. Did it? It seems Edgeworth was right. Edgeworth? Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term you used, I believe. Now's my chance to Garrett to tell me the rest of the story. I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. Huh. Guess it did look different. That's what it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual. And what an intriguing notion, a certain individual, you say. So you think I'm protecting this person? Protecting? No, I think you're afraid of is more like... If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence. For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, who, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? Alright. The one that I'm supposedly so frightened of. What's this person's name? Mike Meekins. The person you fear is this. To be honest, there's someone a bit scarier. Who would that be? Why you, of course. Me? Yes, you seriously believe what you're saying, don't you? Now that's scary. You seem to be making of a criminal in you. What's with all your malicious actions? Care to spend tonight in the jail cell next to mine? If you ask me, you're the scary one. Well, this guy. Mr. Wright, you're addressing the chief prosecutor. Don't forget your place. I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans. My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think I know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective. Assuming he is responsible, then tell me something. Why would he hide his crimes? His crimes? Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before a board of inquiry for what you did. Specifically, hiding and forging evidence. Of course, these are serious offenses. Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned? Chief Gant? Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation. Yes, you, but also one other, Damon Gant. If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant has falsified evidence. We could use either the jar or the piece of cloth. I just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? They're pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now, tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him? Touché, Mr. Wright. As you surmise, I cannot disobey the chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder. Why not? Come now, Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate. In the murder of Detective Goodman? Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car. Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you are not the one who murdered Detective Goodman. Correct. I'm trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken. I discovered the murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife? No. When I found the body, this was the knife that was stuck in it. Knife from the SL9 incident. Serial killer Joe Dark's knife. I couldn't just leave that knife in him. Yeah. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife. That'd be Edgeworth's knife? That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought as I stabbed him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand. And that's the reason for the bandage on your right hand? Yes, it seems I got the blood on the victim's shoe as well. And then she saw me just as I plunged the knife in. Miss Star, huh? Why'd you need to hide Dark's knife so badly? It took a lot of work finally coming close to Detective Dark's case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be opened again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible. So you hid Dark's knife. The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have had a field day with that. So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it. Edgeworth's exhaust pipe. Right, then I called my sister. Tell her what happened and ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler. You asked Emma? I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this. That explained why Emma was so confident about Lana's innocence. Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day. Bad feeling? The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall. To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him? The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, so I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least I thought I could trust him at the time. However, soon after I spoke to him, he went off and escapade on his own. Oh, you mean not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands. He disguised himself as Detective Goodman and tried to steal the evidence. He had already stolen the ID card. But it seemed he still had made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared. So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room? I'm afraid that's all I can tell you. But, Lana, you earn my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and an investigator. Now, please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow. For this trial, there's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. I've got to get to the bottom of everything. Detective Goodman's a real murderer. And what went down in the chief's office 2 years ago? Alright. Last investigation day for the bonus trial. Again, I do like that, you know, they added a lot of mechanics for the trial. Even if it was only for just this trial. And I mean, maybe they show up in the future. I don't know. Like, maybe it shows up in Apollo Justice or stuff like that. I've only played the original first game and part of the second game. Even then, I don't remember how far I got. I don't think I got past the first episode in the second game. So, it's all Gant. Just execute Gant. But I do like... I do think that the added episodes, like the little investigation mechanics, are neat. It's just... a lot of times it felt like a goose chase, and it just wasn't fun. So... like, especially, second day of investigation and, Miss Angel Star's testimony was kind of a massive pain. It was very annoying. But yeah, I do think the mechanics that were added were interesting. I hope when they come out with the, what was the second trilogy called? The Apollo trilogy? What's the second collection called? The Apollo Justice Ace Attorney trilogy. I hope these mechanics show up in those. I have no idea if the mechanics will show up in those, but I do hope they do. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end things off here. Thank you all very much for watching. And next time, I got nothing. Can't as rich as need the rich. Okay. Yeah, I think we're gonna end things off here. Thank you all very much for watching. Next time, I'm gonna